What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is keeping safe. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why you should be avoiding the new 2021 M1 iPad Pro. And before I get into the video, I'm going to kindly ask you guys to hit the subscribe button and like this video, as it will really help my channel grow. And once you subscribe, go to the comments and drop a comment and say that you subscribed to enter a giveaway to win some air tags. Let's get into why you should probably avoid buying the latest iPad Pro. Now, reason number 1 is because other iPads exist. And what I mean by that is that if you look at Apple's lineup, their current lineup, they have an iPad for just about anybody. They have the basic iPad if you're buying an iPad for like a child, light needs for an iPad. You use it for taking notes in class, browsing the web, watching movies. Then you could go with the basic 8th generation iPad. If you're somebody that is really on the go a lot, then you might look at the iPad mini. And if you're somebody that has a little bit more needs, you might be okay with the iPad Air 4. And all these iPads are actually really great, and functionally they do the exact same thing that you can do on the new iPad Pro. But not only that, Apple also has the 2018 iPad Pro that you could get refurbished, or you can get the 2020 iPad Pro, which is still a good buy. And I'm going to talk about that later. Number 2 reason why you should avoid buying the 2021 iPad Pro is because there are no apps that work specifically on the iPad Pro that you can't get on any of those other iPads. Apple has such an amazing ecosystem of apps, and the benefit of going into or buying into the Apple ecosystem is the fact that the apps pretty much work across all the devices. And one of the big positives of buying into the Apple ecosystem is the fact that you can get all the exact same apps across each device. So if you're using a mini one, you can get the exact same app. Now, of course, the iPad Pro is the iPad Pro, so it has a lot of other features that differentiates it from the other iPads. For example, it has the 120 Hz display. So if you're an artist or somebody that does things digitally, you're going to benefit from having a 120 Hz display. But again, functionally, you can actually do pretty much the exact same things that you can do with all of the other iPads. So it definitely would be cool if, for example, the iPad Pro can host certain apps that you won't get access to with the other iPads. But that's just not how Apple's tablets work, and it works across the board, which is good, but it's not enough reason for me to buy the iPad Pro. It has all these killer specs, but it does the exact same thing as the other iPads. Now, the next reason why you shouldn't buy the 2021 M1 iPad Pro might come down to preference, but personally speaking, I like buying the 11-inch iPad Pro. And if you look at the displays of the new iPads, the iPad 11-inch does not have the XDR. So that means that you won't get the 1000 nits brightness, and you also won't get the 1600 peak brightness when you're watching HDR content. For me, I don't really like the 12-inch version. It's a bit too big. I don't really like carrying it around. I do like the iPad because it's an on-the-go device. So having something that's 12 inches, even though it's just slightly bigger, it's still kind of annoying, and I'd rather have the 11-inch version. But I'm going to be losing out on that XDR feature, so that's a bonus of the new iPad Pro, but you don't get it on the 11-inch. For certain people, again, like artists, people that edit content on your iPad, this might not be a problem for you because you're most likely going to go with the 12-inch iPad Pro anyway. For everybody else, display-wise, you still get the liquid display on the 2020 iPad Pro, so it's not really a benefit if you're going to upgrade and keep the 11-inch version. Reason number 4 is definitely a bit of a bummer, especially if you bought a Magic Keyboard last year. And that is that the Magic Keyboard that was released last year does not work on the new iPad Pro M1 version. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure that you could probably use the case, but it's not officially supported by Apple. Of course, we won't really know until we get it into our hands. But for now, since Apple has officially stated that it won't work on the new M1 Max, you might be out of luck if you just spent $300, $400 on that Magic Keyboard. You're gonna need to get a new one. And that also goes if you have an iPad Air 4 and for whatever reason you're planning to upgrade to that 2021 M1 iPad Pro, then again, the same case is not going to work for you. So if you just spent money, I'm sorry, it sucks. And reason number 5 why you should not pick up the new 2021 M1 MacBook. And reason number 5 why you should not pick up the new 2021 M1 Mac. Have I been saying MacBook this whole time? I gotta correct that. Well, reason number 5 why you should not pick up the new M1 iPad Pro is if you have the 2020 iPad Pro. And there's not much of a difference. Like, yes, it has the M1 chip, XDR display, 5G supports, but at the same time, the 2020 iPad Pro is a killer device. For me personally, it's been my replacement for my MacBook Air or even my MacBook Pro. The only reason why I use those devices is because I need Final Cut Pro, and I'll talk about that in a bit. For the most part, the 2020 iPad Pro, again, does the exact same thing as the other one, and I just bought this. So if you have this device specifically, it's not really worth upgrading. And yes, this is very similar to my other point, but it's a little bit more specific because if you have this device, it's really not worth upgrading it unless you really need the XDR display, a better camera system, and things like that. But for the most part, the iPad Pro 2020 is such a killer device, even the 2018 one, that if you have this device, you might not upgrade. Now, despite the video title, despite everything that I said in the video, there is one good reason that will fully entice me to buy the new 2021 M1 iPad Pro. I'm a video editor by trade. I film music videos, and plus I run a YouTube channel, so I do a lot of video editing, and I do it on the MacBook Air behind me, but I will sell that in a heartbeat and buy the 2021 iPad Pro if Final Cut Pro is released for the iPad Pro. And that is a big rumor. They are saying that at WWDC 2021, Apple is planning to release Final Cut Pro on the new iPad, and it makes sense because of the RAM that you get in that system and the M1 chip. I mean, there's no reason that it would not work on the new iPad. So that is something that I'm definitely going to consider, and the moment that that is announced, if it's announced, I will definitely be selling my 2020 iPad. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the video. If you guys are planning to buy the new M1 iPad Pro, drop a comment below. Let me know your configuration, which one you're planning to buy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel to enter the giveaway to win some AirTags. I'll be announcing that in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be announcing that on Instagram. So drop a comment below, be subscribed, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.